Blame Truth here, and when it rains, it pours. I'm uploading a little more frequently than I usually do, but I think this is something that I really need to talk about, and I'm gonna try to keep this video a bit shorter today. But I really can't believe things have gotten this bad, and it's so strange because yeah, I've been complaining about Call of Duty for the better part of 5 years, but the fact that they've been able to keep up this momentum of just downward, it's actually impressive. Like, it's hard to be this fucking shitty at what you do, but they somehow manage to one-up themselves, and it's like a soap opera. It just keeps on getting worse and worse and worse. But before I get into the meat and potatoes, you guys have been asking for t-shirts and merch and stuff. I hear you, and that's why I've decided to release the Mendez Catarina special as a t-shirt. Or a hoodie, if that's more your speed. Maybe you're in the fucking North Pole, I don't know. Get a hoodie then. But I'm going to do a limited release for this, just 2-week period. We'll see how it goes. If you guys buy it a lot, I will come out with more merch. But yeah, you can find all of this in a convenient little clickable kind of thumbnail right below the video. You can't miss it. It's with CrowdMade. Check it out. Without further ado, let's get right on into the meat and potatoes, because viewer, I got a lot I want to get off my chest. So it's been a bit quiet. I mean, it's usually quiet when it comes to Call of Duty and the dev teams. That's either because they've all been replaced by AI bots or because they just simply don't want to speak. I mean, we've covered, devs not wanting to speak in the past. I'm recalling a certain mime, I believe they were, but anyway, that's in the past. The future and the present is no dev is talking to us. So when a Call of Duty dev decides to actually break their silence, it is a monumental achievement. But this particular dev isn't just talking about, I don't know, the game, trying to sell you something or telling you some features coming up. It's just a lie. They're not doing that. They are crashing the fuck out and going scorched earth on the entire franchise. I'm not kidding. This actually happened. Now, full credit pretty much goes to Nero here. He already covered this in depth in his video, but I'm a bit late to the party because I'm guessing he got the news on Twitter from one of you viewers or whatever. But I don't have a Twitter anymore, so I'm just a little bit late to the party. However, we're going to get to it now, and this is absolutely crazy. And after this, I'm going to take you guys back. I'm going to take you guys back about 3.5 years ago with something I found that is, it's insanity. And when I did cover this, I called it bullshit then, and my God, was I so right. But without further ado, let's cover this dev having an absolute crash out on his coworkers, Treyarch, Black Ops 6, and Call of Duty as a whole. Look at this. And I'm going to censor this last name because I don't want to get in any trouble here, but this ex-dev says, Treyarch and Activision are evil. I crunched for 3 months, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week for Activision Treyarch on DLC Ancient Evil in 2019. So he's been there a while. They refused to pay me a bonus after promising us we would get one. Mark Blank of Treyarch is an evil liar. He shook my hand on the bonus but refused to pay it. Mark forces HR to demand employees to coerce 10 other employees of Treyarch to write fake 5-star reviews on Glassdoor in order to qualify for a promotion. We've covered them like faking reviews on the Google Play Store for like Warzone Mobile and stuff before, so I'm not surprised at that at all. Mark labeled contractor Richard in 2007 the FYF, Fat Yorkshire Fuck. If you know Richard, tell him. Poor Richard, he's not fat, he's probably just big boned. Anyway, this next part is where it gets really disturbing, and it sounds like Mark took a fucking trip to like I don't know, the Thailand version of Epstein Island or something. This gets fucked up. Mark cheated on his wife many times. She found out and dumped him. Then a year later, Mark comes back from Thailand with a young girl looking 40 years younger than him who can't speak English and looks about 12 years old. What in the hell, man? Mark created many hostile environments at Treyarch, yet Activision don't fire him after being informed. Yet they pledged in 2019 to fire anyone who creates a hostile environment. Mark is a creep, a liar, a slave driver, and an evil individual. This is Mark and Treyarch. This is Activision. Microsoft also know about it and have done nothing except fire 10,000 devs recently. And Jesus Christ, man, 10,000? Why even have that many to start with? Anyway, boycott Black Ops 6. They now even outsource zombie maps to Asians instead of Americans. No wonder the zombie maps over the last 5 years are complete crap. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I've not mentioned Activision execs expensing $8,000 bottles of wine on company trips. Steve Matey, you drugged up pathetic smackhead. That's a great insult, actually. How much was that dinner you had to expense on your own credit card because you went over the $20,000 dinner expense bill? Juliet wasn't very happy about that, was she? Still, your boss/mate gave you a backhander in your next bonus to cover it up, didn't he? And there's more to this. There's more. He goes on to talk about Infinity Ward getting their ideas stolen by Treyarch back in the MW2, the OG MW2 days. Something about like Treyarch got an advanced copy of MW2 and they were able to see what Infinity Ward were doing and then kind of rip it off for their Black Ops 1 game. But I don't really mind all that. I don't know why they weren't working together and kind of playing off each other anyway. But back in the day, they were kind of like competitors. It was weird. Usually what would happen is like Infinity Ward would come out with a game and it would be good, but there'd be something broken and stupid in it. So Treyarch would then like fix it after the fact with their game. So in COD 4, for example, it was Frag times 3. And then they came out with Flak Jacket in World at War. And then in Modern Warfare 2, it was Woman Army Noob Tubes. And then in Black Ops 1, the grenade launchers like the China Lake were really bad. And Flak Jacket was also back. But like the stuff they ripped off was essentially the pro perk system and maybe the streaks and all that. But I'm not going to call that a ripoff. And I'm not going to hold that against old school Treyarch because I personally think Treyarch's always made the better games up until this one, this Black Ops 6 piece of shit. I really don't understand how it's gotten this bad. I do understand why, David Vonderhaar, Jason Blundell, Dan Bunting, Tony Flame, all of those devs that we knew that communicated with us, where we knew their position and knew what they were doing and knew that they were experienced. I understand now why they are gone. I totally get it. Seeing this guy absolutely lose it on LinkedIn over this. I mean, I don't know if something just expired, like an NDA expired or what, but he posted it, he deleted it. How much of it is true? I would say probably most of it. And I have some evidence that's going to show that he's not just talking shit here. I mean, it sounds like he's off his meds a bit and he's going crazy, but I don't think it's just that. I think he is incredibly disgruntled, and he has a very good reason to be, because I covered this back when MW3 came out. I think it's time we revisit it to really give this LinkedIn post some validity here. So check this out. So shortly after MW3 came out, a Sledgehammer dev, someone claiming to be someone that worked at Sledgehammer, had this to say in my comment section, and then they just deleted it and then never spoke of it again. So very similar, right? But this happened December 2023, okay? I love Sledgehammer Games. They've been my favorite studio for a long time. I loved Dead Space, so when Michael and Glenn formed Sledgehammer Games and joined the COD table to make games for Activision, I was beyond excited. The fact that Michael and Glenn left Visceral Games because they were treated like shit to do their own thing and have been treated like shit again by IW and Activision makes me like them even more, but it pisses me off. I was devastated when they had to make yet another World War II game with Vanguard because everyone knew the community was going to hate it. That's why I joined their team to work on the anti-cheat operations for Vanguard. I fell in love with Vanguard because I saw everything that Sledgehammer did to make the game for the community. And I will give credit here. Sledgehammer Games made that game in about 8 months. I was informed from an insider, someone who was pretty close to Sledgehammer Games, and that's confirmed. They made that game in like 8 fucking months. All things considered, with that time constraint, it's pretty good. Anyway, back to the comment. It was the last game with clan support and a solid team play build that invited players to join squads. Since then, it's been impossible to join squads, and there isn't a single thing in MW2 and MW3 that is clan friendly. Almost as if Infinity Ward doesn't want players to team up to keep little Timmy safe. In Vanguard, you could also level up your operators and even get the gold and diamond operator skins. That was actually a good feature. And we're going to skip some of this here and just get to the meat and potatoes. Now, unfortunately, they are stuck under the thumb of IW, and IW said that they had to make/clone an IW game, MW2 in this case, that they literally weren't allowed to add clan support and promote team play at all. IW fired most of Sledgehammer's staff, including the entire anti-cheat team, when MW2 released in order to implement IW's AI-based anti-cheat that absolutely does nothing but favors cheaters and reports spammers. That turned out to be true, and it's still true to this day. I can't stand Infinity Ward and was given a huge fuck you for being good when our team got canned. Their entire team is full of woke social justice warriors who hate guns to begin with. They are so anti-American, anti-2A, anti-1A, hate the Constitution. Most of the employees hate COD period and everything that it stands for, and they jump in line, bending at the knee with anything to do with the woke agenda coming from the ultra-far-left cult. To bring political agenda of any kind into the workspace, especially into a video game and the development studios, is absolutely disgusting. IW was thick with it, and I would have been just as upset if they pushed a far-right narrative. Completely 100% agree. It doesn't belong in video games, period. That's all I have to say for now. However, I could go on for hours as to why I know for a fact that IW is purposely trying to destroy Call of Duty. They desperately want to move on to a new video game so they can push their views onto their customers. Does that crash out from a few years ago in the comment section from an anonymous source not sound exactly like what we just saw officially from a dev on LinkedIn? And if you doubt this, comment is legit, the more that's come out in the past couple of years, the more it paints this particular comment of this claimed ex-dev to be legit. Because there's another kind of link to this that shows that this comment, when I got it, pretty much true. I don't doubt it at all anymore, especially after seeing the Treyarch guy freaking out on LinkedIn. But check this out. I covered this about a year ago now, around Black Ops 6's launch, but the devs, it should be no surprise. They're in California, but just look at what these devs said in a Slack chat. It must be working on blank, making me more violent, but I have never been more tempted to buy a gun. Arm the left. After all, an armed minority is harder to oppress. If you can afford it, get life insurance. No one fights harder than insurance companies, and if more minorities get them, then it'll be harder for hate crimes to get swept under the rug. What is wrong with these people? Why are they threatening gun violence like in the Slack chat? You know what I mean? And for those curious of the time frame of that was about 8 months ago that Slack chat leaked. I don't know what else to say, man. But I think it's time we start believing these devs whenever, they come out and they're like, man, my coworkers and Activision Blizzard are fucking insane assholes, liars, whatever. Because, look, I also found something else looking for these old kind of comments and stuff like that in my videos. And when I found this, I called it out as complete bullshit at the time. And again, this is from like, I want to say 3.5 years ago, during Vanguard's kind of time frame. It was when they released the Warzone update that ended up breaking not only Warzone, but Vanguard and like Cold War and Modern Warfare 2019. It broke every single Call of Duty game because everything is integrated into the shitty fucking Warzone thing. And whenever they broke that stuff, they gave us this apology. And this is rare from them because they're fucking narcissists. It's not really an apology, but it's like, it was this fake "we hear you" thing. Look at this and tell me why you would ever believe anything these people say unless they're out of a contract and they're out of their NDA clause and all that stuff. We wanted to take a minute to talk about fixing the game. We hear you, and we feel your frustrations. Our teams are hard at work addressing the issues that are being experienced across Vanguard, Warzone, and Modern Warfare. Updates are being deployed as quickly as possible. We want everyone to have a seamless experience no matter which game, game mode, or platform you play on. Your feedback is a critical part of our development process to make our games the best they can be. Have you ever heard such fucking bullshit in your life? Right there, that end part, but not just that end part. The whole thing about we want everyone to have a seamless experience no matter which game, game mode, or platform you play on. Is that why? Is that why Call of Duty World War II, which just got released on Game Pass, is unplayable on PC to the point where they had to take it off of PC Game Pass because people were getting RCE'd and having random people like take over their PCs remotely? By the way, it's been over 3 weeks, and Call of Duty World War II on PC Game Pass is still not back up, and it's probably never gonna be back up. These guys are narcissists. They are liars. I don't know how many times I have to show you guys proof before everyone gets it. When I say you guys, that's really not fair. I think if you guys are watching the channel, you know that they are liars and narcissists and weirdos and whatnot. But like, I can just go back and I can show you direct quotes from them that turn out to be false. Weeks, months, years later, every single time. Like, I have the receipts, motherfuckers. How can you just lie to the community? I mean, I get how they can do it. The community's still playing the game, and the people they market the game to are just morons. So I get it. And I'm sorry if that's harsh, but maybe you do need to hear it at this point. Like, that's who they want playing their games. They want people with IQs that match my current thermostat settings, and I keep it pretty chilly in the summer, guys. I'm quite hot right now. I'm hot making this video, honestly. But that's who they want playing the games, because those people aren't going to question shit. They're going to just, not question anything, and they're just going to consume the products, and they're just going to buy the stupid skins. Most people that probably bought American Dad and Beavis and Butthead, I guarantee you they A, either don't know what the fuck it is, or B, are 12 years old and think that cartoons of any sort are fun in video games. That's what it is. Either way, though, guys, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you enjoyed. Again, pick up that t-shirt. It's a limited release. For the next 2 weeks, it will be available. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Rate, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Oh, and I'll leave that Vanguard video where I cover that, like, quote-unquote apology. I'll leave that video and my reaction to it on the end screen about to pop up. And you can check that out and see that, yes, I predicted the future yet again. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.